This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Oh, I'm back on the big time. This is going to be a big time rant. We're going to dig deep into a lot of things before Dynamite hits the air tonight. It's coming on here very shortly, and I'll be here with Mr. Clark right after it to cover everything that happened on Dynamite. Can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to discuss what is AEW going to do after coming out with World's End and what is coming up in the future. A lot to talk about. MJF's status. What is Chris Jericho's status? What is going to happen with WWE? What's going to happen with TNA? Everything, news, rumors, and speculation. Mercedes Moné, Deonna Purrazzo, lots of names making the rounds. Who's going to be where? What's going to happen? We're going to talk all about that right after this. Oh, we are back. We are here on the big time. This big time rants. We're going to break it down. We're going to get into all the little details going on here. Let's get into the news. Mercedes Moné, is she about to make her debut at AEW? Is she expected to show up at AEW tonight? A lot of people saying that this could happen. This could come as early as January 3rd's episode of Dynamite. It looks like Mercedes Moné, Deonna Purrazzo, and even Camille are words that some may be debuting tonight on AEW. Mercedes Moné is definitely option, and so is Deonna Purrazzo. Does Tony Khan have any or all of these names in his back pocket ready to play these cards? We're going to have to wait and see, but it's definitely getting really interesting. We could see a debut tonight on Dynamite, a shocker. But what would you do with the Deonna Purrazzo? She'd probably fit in the AEW women's roster pretty well, but at Mercedes Moné, you really don't have anybody big. Where is Britt Baker right now? That would be your number one feud for an incoming Mercedes Moné. Yes, Mercedes Moné could get in a feud or a storyline with Timeless Tony Storm, but it seems kind of quick to put Mercedes Moné in the main title picture run. And it's going to be interesting what you're going to do with Mercedes Moné, how you're going to introduce her, and who you're going to mix her up with to start her off. A lot of talk and rumors. Deonna Purrazzo, Mercedes Moné, Camille, lots of names coming out. Lots of names being talked about, possibly debuting as early as tonight on Dynamite. It looks like PW Insiders noted that Chris Jericho is backstage at Dynamite, and he will possibly be on the show to continue any storylines going on with Jericho and what is Sammy Guevara and the tag team titles. We're going to have to wait and see. Chris Jericho under a lot of heat. People are going after the house. It came out in reports, there's stories behind Jericho. Jericho opened his mouth. When Stephen News put some stuff on Twitter, and Jericho got into it. This brought in a whole bunch of people that probably didn't even need to get into the middle of all this conversation. It's just stirred a lot of controversy, has gotten a lot of heat on Jericho, and has really turned up the heat on what is going on. Is Jericho guilty of anything? At this point, we don't have any definite answers to that. Are there people that are, out there that could possibly shed light on this? Yes. Has Jericho came out and said anything? No. Is AEW avoiding saying really anything regarding the situation? Yes. Right now, it looks like we don't know, and it may not be anything more than a little something that doesn't necessarily need to be blown up into something. It's going to be a wait and see. But Jericho's going to continue to be on our TV. We'll have to see if Jericho gets more boos like he did at World's End, or if people are filing over that and that situation. It's going to get interesting. A lot to talk about there. We're just going to have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, it's well known that MJF is no longer on the AEW active roster. His spot on the roster page has been removed. He is not there. But if you also go to AEW shop and try to look up any MJF merchandise, his page is gone. There is no merchandise for one MJF on AEW shop. Even if you go in the search for MJF, and I'm bringing it up again just to double check that we are looking at the right thing, unless it was an error for a day. But we're going to look at it. We're going to put MJF in here, and we're going to see what happens when you see error 404, page not found. You're not going to be able to even buy MJF merchandise. MJF has been removed from the roster. He's been moved from the shop. You can't buy MJF gear. What does that mean? Does that mean anything, or is AEW playing this all really well? Is there going to play this story that MJF is doing the bidding war of 2024? We're going to have to see how this story goes, how it plays out, what are all the possibilities. But right now, you can't even buy MJF's gear, merchandise. Is this going to hurt AEW, a company that needs to make money? Is stopping selling MJF gear going to be that big of a deal? Who knows? We're going to have to see how that goes into effect. Wrestle Kingdom 18 is up. It's hitting. We're going to have that tonight. Mr. Miguel Z is going to be covering everything that's going down on Wrestle Kingdom. He's going to bring that to you next Tuesday live, a whole breakdown of everything that happened on Wrestle Kingdom. We know Okada and Bryan Danielson are going head-to-head at Wrestle Kingdom. That should be great. That should be amazing. Can't wait to hear what happened there. Tonight on Dynamite, Adam Cole is going to address everybody on why he decided to turn on MJF, why Adam Cole decided to be the devil, what led to this union between him, Roderick Strong, the Kingdom, and even bringing in Wardlow. Things are going to get really interesting as Adam Cole is going to get a chance to explain himself on Dynamite, which we will be back here after Dynamite to cover from end to end and discuss it back and forth. The Rock showing up on day one. The Rock was there. The Rock made the announcement. We've talked about this. A lot of people are pushing the narrative that The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to face at WrestleMania. I think we are building to a match. And this may be something to do with tomorrow's big announcement on Thursday on Peacock. Could we be seeing Roman Reigns versus The Rock at Elimination Chamber, possibly in a non-title match? Perth, Australia has a venue that hosts up to 60,000 seats. WWE is going to sell that place out, and this is how they're going to do it. Even the people of Australia that are involved in getting WWE over here and to do this event in Australia have been asking for The Rock. Is this what we're going to get? Are we going to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, a perfect place? Doesn't necessarily need to be a title match, which is good. We're going to have to see. Rumors are speculating everywhere. A lot of rumors are starting to lean that we're going to see Roman Rock at Elimination Chamber. I think that's the right place to do it. I think that helps build the story. Cody and the Roman, that story solidified for WrestleMania. We know CM Punk and Seth Rollins should be night one. Roman and Cody Rhodes should be night two. That's what we should be heading into. So we may get a big announcement of that. Or we could get the biggest announcement in wrestling history in a long, long time. TNA recently has made a streaming deal with Endeavor. Endeavor is going to help carry TNA's streaming deal, and TNA is now calling their pay-per-view events premium live events, just like WWE calls theirs premium live events. Is this coincidence, or is this just a narrative because WWE is under Endeavor and now TNA is working in there that they're just going to call it premium live events? It could be interesting. TNA is talking about Hard to Kill. Scott D'Amore selling off a big signing. You'll never believe who it's going to be. TNA selling Hard to Kill. When Worlds Collide, you'll never guess who's showing up. Who had Worlds Collide as a pay-per-view event? Well, if we go back to NXT days when NXT took on NXT 2 UK and 205 Live, WWE had an event called Worlds Collide. Is there something to this? We know this special announcement happens tomorrow evening on the Peacock channel with Triple H. He's got a big announcement. What is the big announcement? Could it be? Could it be a partnership between WWE and TNA? Could it be TNA versus NXT in some future Endeavor event? What is going to go on? Who is going to show up at TNA Hard to Kill? Is it going to be on the new TNA Plus It's going to get really interesting. Can't wait to see how this all plays out. TNA Plus relaunches, I believe, Friday, January 5th. January 4th, they have their last show, and we know that Triple H is making a big announcement on Thursday night within the same time as TNA. What is the future going to hold, and how big is this going to be? It could be interesting if TNA and WWE are coming together, if worlds are colliding in that form. This could get really interesting. We also know that Naomi, Trinity Fatu, Trinity in TNA, maybe possibly on her way back to WWE after walking out of the company over a dispute about being used in the women's tag division with Sasha Banks. And depending on who you listen to, Sasha Banks walked out and Trinity followed, or Trinity decided to walk out and Sasha Banks, or Naomi walked out and Sasha Banks followed her out. We don't know all the details in the story, and it doesn't really matter at this point. The two women walked out in disagreement with the old regime and the way the women's tag team titles were being used. They went out and improved themselves on different scenes. Sasha becoming Mercedes Moné, making her name in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and looking towards the future of possibly being part of the AEW roster. Maybe she's the big signing and will show up in TNA. It is a possibility, or it could be that she is being the big surprise that's going to show back up on WWE TV sometime around the Rumble. We will have to wait and see. Are we getting Mercedes Moné? Are we getting Sasha Banks? Are we getting a variant that may be a combined package? We have to wait and see how that all comes together with them. Is it TNA, WWE lurking together as this big announcement, or is WWE about to drop the great bomb in regards to who has the new TV rights for Raw? Are we going to finally learn and understand or hear that WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, have made a deal with WWE to service Monday Night Raw on either TNT or TBS? Are we going to get the final deal of the TV rights? We know that NXT is going to CW. We know USA has picked up SmackDown. We do not know where Raw is landing, and it's going to get really interesting. Is this going to be the big announcement? This is supposed to be a preview show of WWE going into 2024, so that would make a lot of sense. Rock versus Roman at Elimination Chamber. That would make a lot of sense. WWE making a deal with TNA could make a lot of sense. A lot of speculation, a lot of things going on. Dynamite's hitting the air. We got to get onto that. I'm going to go watch that. Then I'll be back here with Mr. Clark. We're going to review the whole show. We're going to break it all down for you and let you know what is happening, how it's all going to play out. Dynamite tonight should be interesting. Can't wait to see. We will be here with all those details. I thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you go ahead and give this video a like. Make sure you hit the the like button. Ring that bell for notifications so when we put up new videos or we go live, you'll be notified. And also, if you're new here or you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but hitting that subscribe button helps us grow and gets us out there in the media. Make sure you share this video out with friends, family, and everybody that you know that loves the world of professional wrestling on the big time. This is the Big Time Rants. I'm out of here. We're going to call it a day. I will be back in about 2 hours to break down AEW Dynamite for January 3rd, 2024. It's the new year. What is Tony Khan going to bring to the table? Can't wait to see.